Welcome back. I know it's been a long time since I posted, so I want to apologize for that. It's not that I haven't wanted to post, it's just that I've been doing a whole lot of videos with TFL and of course farm life. It just kind of keeps you from, doing stuff that you'd like to do. But there's two items of excitement. I mean, really exciting news that I want to tell you about. And I felt compelled to make this video just so you would know what's going on. First of all, I bought a project truck. And I'll show you that here in just a minute. But like all of life, things kind of change with what you like to do and want to do, and projects you want to start and ones you think will never finish. But this one is finished for as much as I want to do to it. You could, as you know, you can just like keep on going until your pocketbook is completely empty. I kind of had to make a choice about how many projects I keep around. So that's the one point of excitement that I just making, is this truck is officially for sale. What? Now, I want to tell you a little bit about it before you get too excited about being for sale. I'm going to sell it not on Craigslist, not on Facebook Marketplace, not on, some big site, but I want to sell it on TFL bids, simply because I've been doing a lot of work with TFL. They've been good to me, and I think it's appropriate that since the truck's been featured on TFL so many times, that we sell it on TFL bid. Bidding starts today, Tuesday, March 14th, and goes for 10 days. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, David, why the heck would you sell the truck that you've been working on forever and that everybody thinks is a dream truck and I think is a dream truck, and I've had a lot of fun with it? And I'll tell you the reasons here in a minute. But first of all, I want to tell you what I've done with the truck so you can kind of recap where it's been, what it's done. As you know, it's a Cummins swap. So far, I have put 45,000 miles on this truck since the Cummins swap. It currently has 204,000 miles, and I've made the swap somewhere around 160, I believe. So it's got a lot of miles underneath its belt with the Cummins motor, and a lot of it pulling my camper. And it's been to 19 states. So she's been good to me. So why would I sell it? Well, I'll tell you in a minute. Now, if you're curious about everything I've done to this truck, I'd encourage you to go back to my videos that I did, 3 years ago, and see all the things that I did. But there's a few things that I've changed recently that I want to show you. Plus, on TFL bids, I have a lot of pictures as well as a 3-page description. So if you want to know specifics about, okay, what'd you do for this? How'd you do that? They're just, you just into the minutia of little stuff that you can't, describe. But here's some things that I've done to the truck recently that I want to tell you about. Number one is I had the big white camper topper utility thingy-McBob on top here, and I put it on my new truck. That way I can pull the camper and then secure all my stuff in there. So I've taken it off, and I did rub the top of the bed a little bit, with the camper. It's not too bad. Honestly, this truck, the body of this truck is in excellent shape, except for the paint. It's coming off. But as far as rust, honestly, this is about as much rust as there was, and I put an end to that by putting rust stop oleum, whatever it is, on there. And there's a few other little spots that have some surface rust, but for being a 33-year-old truck, this is a clean truck. If you buy this, I've made it run good. You can make it look good. Not that it doesn't look good, but it could be improved upon. Another thing I did is, one of my videos, I had rock sliders that I built and I put on here. The reason I took them off, I did like them, I like the looks of them, is that I had them mounted to both the frame as well as the mounting point on the body. And that kind of was part of the sound transfer, because honestly, the vibration of the motor travels through anything that might touch the cab and transposes itself right into the cab. So I took those off mainly because of that reason. I like the looks of them, but it was a sound. Another thing, let me open the hood and I'll show you a couple things I've done under there. Haha. So maybe you hadn't seen this last, as I put sound deadening underneath the hood. And all of these things, they really did take some of the sound out. If you're anything but 60 years old and feel like you're getting old and worried about sound stuff, you're gonna love this truck. But at this point in life, it is what it is. So I just put injectors in here. So from power driven diesel, I put 5x11s. So if you know anything about injectors, those are a really mild injector. I'm on my third turbo. I started out with a HX35, then I went to a BorgWarner S300, which was too big. I mean, yeah, it was powerful, it was too big. So I compromised with the BorgWarner K27, and that's why I went to the different injectors. I'm trying to balance out the smoke. Not that it smoked a lot, but I just don't like too much smoke. So she still gets up and goes, mainly because if I wanted to, you know, put the power to the wheels, I use the little AFC Live that I got for power driven diesel, and she can take off. So when I changed the injectors, I was trying to tune, as you know, with the 3rd gen Cummins, or even the new 5th gen Cummins, I don't know, what are we on, 6th gen Cummins? I don't know. I mean, you put a chip in it and you can tune it to whatever you want. Not so with mechanical P-pumped. All your control is right here on the P-pump. So the AFC, I've modified it. I made it a long travel, full travel kit that power driven diesel had. And then I've worked a lot in moving the AFC forward and backwards, and in doing that with different turbos, and doing that I stripped out the little nuts that hold the AFC to the housing. So I put helio coils on those. I just had taken it on and off so many times that, and you don't want to torque those nuts very hard. So I made the mistake of cranking them a little too hard. So I've put all new class, or what are they, grade 8 bolts, and they all grip well. But I finally think I got the tuning, at least to my liking, down. I'll let you mess with it if you want to after you buy it, but I like it where it is now. If I were to keep the truck, I probably would put a vintage air inside underneath the dash for my air conditioning to make enough room for compound turbos. But I'll let you do that if you buy the truck. Let me think. Oh, yeah, I have also put some more heat shield. So when I went to the bigger turbo, it actually shifted the turbo over a little bit closer to the air box. And when that happened, my air box was getting really hot and almost to the point of melting. So I have basically made a paste of epoxy as well as sound deadening on here. And then I put a heat shield over here to just keep all that heat confined to the turbo, and so I wouldn't melt anything. And it's worked great. It doesn't transfer into the air box. I mean, the air conditioning still works great. One issue I want to tell you about, and if you'll look at the belt right here, the serpentine belt is missing one rib. And that's because the alternator is just slightly shifted, like by a millimeter or two. I mean, not by much. It's just a little bit. And so the belt used to squeak until it just rubbed itself, one of the ribs off. That was 20,000 miles ago. No more squeak. I just left it. I figure, why shim it if it don't squeak and it works great? So those are the big things I've done under the hood. Let's take a look inside. All right, as you know, I had taken the back seat out. The back seat's actually in pretty good shape except for one little tear over here. But I had taken it out for all those miles because I had put a board back here to hold tools and gear and all that, and I never needed the seat for just Julie and I. So the seat belts are back in, the seat's back in. My headliner's starting to sag just a little bit. It's still stuck here, but she's sagging just a little bit. I took the seat cover off. That way you guys can see exactly the condition of the front seat. And you'll be able to see this in the pictures of TFL bids, but the front seat's, you know, not in great shape. Foam's still in pretty good shape, but it's coming apart. The dash, I've put a dash cover over it. As you can see, it's got quite a few cracks. So if you ever take this dash cover off, you're not going to really like what's underneath here. But luckily, with square bodies, the amount of aftermarket parts is just incredible. In fact, I'm guessing that the square body Chevy GMC probably has more aftermarket support than any other truck ever made. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right, because you can find everything online in multiple places. So finding something to, you know, to put this baby back into shape. It'll need a new windshield. It's got 2 big cracks in the windshield. And I've never had the little 5-speed indicator on here, but it's missing. And all the gauges go with the truck. Got a boost gauge, got a EGT gauge, and my tachometer, which is based off a magnet that I put on the harmonic balancer, and it works great. All the gauges work. The fuel gauge is a little finicky. It'll be like you put it full and it'll go to full and it'll come back to 3/4 and then it'll just kind of like hover, but when it's empty, it's empty. And the radio still works, believe it or not. 33 years. Okay, now that you've seen all the up-close additions I've made to the truck, here's why I'm selling. So, I bought a new project, and the project's going to take me a lot of effort and time. So, you probably know who Trail Mater is, and I love watching Trail Mater and all the rock crawling he does. So I kind of want to build a rock crawler, a square body rock crawler, kind of like Trail Mater. So I've bought me my project truck, and I might even bring everybody along on the build. I'm a little intimidated by that because I am definitely no mechanic, and I'm definitely no body man, and I'm definitely no super duper four-wheeling do-it-all guru, but I want to be. And so I might just bring you along and show you what it's like for the average guy to build a rock crawler with a 454 and put big 37-inch tires on it and have fun. That's one of the reasons that I'm selling. But really, the main reason is I've had a lot of fun, 45,000 miles, going in 19 states. My wife has come with me on, I'd say, half of those miles. She's a real trooper. But we both decided together, oh, there she is. Julie, come here. All right, hon. You've spent probably hours and hours in this truck with me. Probably put 20,000 miles on this truck with me. And I know there's a lot of things you like, and there's some things you don't like. So first of all, let's start with the things you like about it.
Well, I mean, I like most everything about the truck. It's comfortable. It has the bench seat in the front, and it's very comfortable to ride in. It holds a lot of stuff. It pulls our camper. I mean, there's really nothing. It
rides good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it rides nice. Yeah.
Yeah, since I put those springs on it.
Yeah.
With pulling the camper, it rides great.
Yeah, it does. The only thing that I don't like about it, and we've both agreed, it's a big factor for us, is it's very loud inside the cab when you're traveling. I think you've probably figured out you can only do about 5 hours of driving at a time before you almost feel like your brain is in overload.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a 12-valve Cummins. I have tried everything. I have put sound deadening under the hood, sound deadening under the pan, under the seats. I have tried a couple different mufflers, and there is just no quieting down a 12-valve Cummins.
Yeah, and I know that, but that is just one of the downsides about traveling together in it. It's hard to really talk comfortably and feel relaxed.
Yeah, the relaxed part. You just don't feel relaxed.
Right.
Because of the constant rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, that's the only complaint I have. It's a comfortable truck to drive in, to travel in. It's just a little noisier than what we enjoy to feel like we're having a comfortable, quiet ride.
So there you have it. It's not because the truck doesn't run good, the truck has problems. That's not it. The truck could pull the camper around the country and back if we wanted to. It's just that it's not the most pleasant experience to do that long distance for a long period of time. So thus, it's a bonus for you because it's for sale. All right, I said I had some exciting news for you. This is the exciting news. All right, you might not think it's all that exciting, but I kind of do. Let me tell you what I bought here. This is a cab and chassis, 86 Chevy. Not only is it four-wheel drive, but it's also a dually, and it did have, at one time, it's not in there right now, a 454. I feel like I have to sell the other truck in order to create my new project. And that's half the fun, right? Just building something new. Using it for a while, selling it, and building something else. I mean, that's the spice of life. So, I don't think it originally was a wrecker. It's like I said, it's a cab and chassis 3500. It's got a Dana 60 up front. It has an SM 465 transmission. And it has a PTO on that transmission that runs all the hydraulics, winch and hydraulic rams and all that are on the wrecker. It also has a MP205 transfer case, just like the blue truck does. I haven't really decided exactly what I'm doing with this truck. I might just take the wrecker bed off and sell it. That's probably more than likely what I'll do. And then turn it into a flatbed dually. Put 454 back in it, some new springs and a lift kit, who knows, crossover steering, some pretty decent shocks, and make it really capable. You write in the comments what you think I ought to do, and tell me if you think you'd be interested in watching me work on it, even though I'm no professional, but maybe we can learn something together. So write in the comments if you'd be interested in that. So I guess I'm back to making videos again. Tell me what you think. Give me a like, maybe subscribe. But if you want to bid on my Cummins diesel swap truck, just head on over to tflbids.com. It starts today, Tuesday, March 14th, and goes for 10 days. Who knows? You might end up being the winner of that beautiful truck. Thanks for watching. So if you want to bid on, shoot. I just went blank.